injury away from this league going back to pre-2024, not 2023, but everything lower in 2024. Like, we all know this league is nowhere near as culturally relevant right now.
We're literally one Caitlin Clark injury away from this league slipping back to pre-2024 levels. That's not exaggeration. That's the uncomfortable truth shaping every move in these CBA negotiations. What you're about to witness is both sides locked in the riskiest game of chicken in WNBA history.
The league knows it's a problem, but the players, and this is where the kind of lack of professionalism on the player side comes in. Like, they're like reposting stuff about striking. They basically said here, at midnight, it expires despite demonstrating our willingness to compromise in order to get the deal done. They've shown no willingness. From what we've seen, the players have said,
the silence is deafening. First Take isn't talking women's basketball. ESPN isn't covering Paige Becker dropping 44 points. The only WNBA story that cut through in January 2025? Caitlin Clark's first unstoppable game, and speculation about whether she might join the Liberty. That's it. In just 6 months, the league went from cultural phenomenon to afterthought. And here's the scary part. The WNBA Players Association let their collective bargaining agreement expire at midnight on January 31st. They staged an inflatable rat outside the NBA store in New York. They're tweeting about strikes. Meanwhile, the league sits across the table with one word: unsustainable.
Every bit of leverage they have to get as much money as they can. As long as they don't overplay their hand and the season doesn't happen. Even fuck it. Even if some of the games have to be played in alternate arenas because they're double booked, who cares? At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that a season happens. The players need to use every bit of leverage. It's a game of chicken that right now, the owners are winning. Because
let's break down what the players are actually demanding. They want revenue sharing tied to 30% of gross league revenue, not the fixed salary cap with a 5% annual increase that the league proposed. Essentially, they're asking for a system that rises and falls with the league's yearly financial performance. Here's the problem. That's a non-starter. The WNBA doesn't operate like the NBA. Most teams are independently owned, each with its own operating costs, and the league itself doesn't control enough revenue to guarantee that kind of model. When the Players Association talks about pay equity, it sounds progressive, but in reality, it's a financial structure the league's current setup simply cannot sustain.
A'ja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, Nafisa Collier. If this league shuts down, and those 6 or 7 players that I've mentioned, if the league shuts down, and every city that has a team, because yes, there are cities that have fans, every city that has a team starts a breakout league, and every single player in the WNBA, except for those 6 players, doesn't play, and they all play in their markets.
And now both sides are playing with fire. The players claim the league isn't negotiating in good faith, posting about labor protests and insisting they're willing to do whatever it takes. But the reality? They're refusing to compromise, drawing a hard line, daring the league to cross it. Here's the hard truth the players don't want to admit. In this league, only 6 or 7 players have a personal brand bigger than their teams. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Buchers, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, A'ja Wilson, and Nafisa Collier. That's it. Everyone else, from a business perspective, replaceable. Take the Connecticut Sun, for example. You could swap their entire roster for former WNBA players or alumni, and attendance wouldn't dip. Viewership wouldn't budge. The Sun brand carries that franchise, not the individual players, and the same goes for most teams in the league.
Everybody knows this isn't a case of, is there going to be a 2026 season? This is a case of, is this league going to exist or not? And who has more to lose by this league not existing? And I think the players have more to lose. That's just my opinion. I think the players should hold out. I think the players, they don't like what they get, they should hold out. They should absolutely hold out. No question about it. Get as much as you can get. Get every cent until you have to miss again.
Here's the nightmare scenario keeping everyone awake at night. Imagine the players hold out, actually strike, and the 2025 season gets delayed or even canceled. What happens next? The dominoes start to fall. Sponsors pull out because there's no product to attach their brand to. The new TV deals, the ones everyone is counting on to fund massive salary increases, get renegotiated or scrapped because the league can't deliver. Small market teams, already losing money every year, shut down operations. And then what? The players might think they can launch their own league or join an alternative. Reality check. Unrivaled is already failing. The numbers don't lie. Despite huge investments from tech entrepreneurs who thought women's basketball was the next crypto, despite the Caitlin Clark boom driving unprecedented interest, and even after signing a panic deal with TNT after losing NBA rights, Unrivaled finished dead last in primetime ratings for its key demographic.
And money's not going to be made up elsewhere. So players care deeply about the fans, take pride and honor and loyalty every time they take part in the court. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Like, I mean that. And this is not a knock on certain players. It's not a knock on teams. It's not a knock on the league. I do not believe that the majority of WNBA players care about a single fan. I don't believe that. And that's not like a. I think they care about the sport of basketball. I think they care about their teammates. I think they care about a lot of things. I don't think a lot of them care about.
Let's talk leverage, because this is where the players are fundamentally misreading the board. They're acting like they hold all the power because the league needs them. But the truth? The league doesn't need all of them. It only needs Caitlin Clark healthy and on the court. There's the entire leverage calculation right now. If Clark tore her ACL tomorrow, the league's revenue projections would collapse. TV deals would get renegotiated downward. Attendance drops back to 2023 levels. That fluctuating revenue share the players are demanding? Suddenly, the salary cap drops from $1.3 million to $600,000. And at that point, the league isn't sustainable anyway. The owners know this. The league office knows this. And deep down, the players know it, too. That's why this standoff is so dangerous. Both sides are betting the entire future of women's professional basketball on a game of endurance. In a negotiation, neither can truly afford to lose.
I'm scared the players are overplaying their hand. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to criticize the players until a game is missed. I think they might be overplaying their hand. Until one game is missed, I am all for the players continuing to do whatever they can to get paid as much as possible. Until they miss one game of basketball, and then they're not only fucking over the current fans. If they miss a game if they start missing games and the season's done, the league's done. And if the WNBA is gone, I don't know what the future of women's basketball is, because Unrivaled is going.
Here's what actually needs to happen, and why it probably won't. The players need to accept that a fixed salary cap with guaranteed annual increases is far safer than chasing a revenue share tied to a league that might not exist in 3 years. The league needs to offer enough money so players don't feel exploited while ensuring the league remains financially sustainable. Instead, what we're getting are inflatable rats, public statements about being undervalued, and both sides digging in as the clock ticks down. The Players Association claims they care deeply about the fans, that they take pride in honoring them every time they step on the court. That's PR talk. The reality? Most players in this league care about the fans' money, not the fans themselves. And here's the kicker. Most owners feel the same way. That's professional sports in a nutshell.